What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies Podcast and Mr. Cincinnati. And as always, I am joined by the podcast dad under the learning tree.
Thank you.
Choops, how are you, buddy?
Doing great. Go buy a mug.
Go buy a mug, but buy a t-shirt, hoodie, beanie, not hats. We don't have them yet, or else the podcast that would be wearing them. Make sure to subscribe to the Main Event Network at mainevent_net. And we are not alone. The King has returned. King Chris gracing us with his presence once again. It has been a while. Yeah, you're right. Where are my manners? I haven't seen you in a month of Sundays. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Your king is a very tired king. The king runs from coast to coast. The red-eye flight at 1 a.m. from the City of Angels to JFK this morning. So I am running on about 35 minutes of sleep in the past 48 hours. So this may go off the rails quickly, boys.
And I'm off work tomorrow, and we all have beers in our hands.
Shut your damn mouth. Don't you keep doing it. You keep doing it. Folks, I got to work very early tomorrow. And this guy's like, oh, I'm off.
What? I'm making conversation on the show. Is that a problem?
You know what you're doing.
What is wrong with us just having banter, swapping stories about our lives, and just generally catching up?
Move on.
I believe I just said I haven't seen him in a month of Sundays, so
Your
we're
stupid
catching
hat.
up. We all have beers.
What a loser's hat. Did you see, King Chris, did you see that they're going to be making upgrades to that parking garage they call a stadium here in Cincinnati?
I did see that. I didn't think it was worth reading because why? Doesn't really matter to me.
This is an ugly look on you, and I don't like it. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. As always, hit that QR code, like, share, subscribe, join us, help us to run those numbers on our socials. Two big shows that we are sponsoring this weekend. We have got Oh My Glob presented by Wrestlers Lab. Always good to work with those guys. Great slate of matches, wonderful roster of talent, as well as Zicky Dice's Outlandish Paradise taking place at Momoton in Atlanta this weekend. Best of luck to Zicky and Rob Weathers and everybody that is working on that show. Three great interviews dropping tomorrow. Thank you to referee Tony S., Viral Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion John Davis, as well as broadcaster Rob Weathers. Thank you so much for joining me. Wonderful conversations. Cannot wait for you guys to hear these interviews. But, gentlemen, the weekend is just about upon us, and we have not one but two pay-per-view events happening. We've got King and Queen of the Ring taking place in Saudi Arabia on Saturday. AEW Double or Nothing this Sunday from the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas. 5-year anniversary show. Before we get into our predictions, and we're going to start with the King here, what are you looking forward to the most this weekend? If you could, single out one thing.
It's the Saudi weekend, so you never know really what's going to happen. I don't know. I'm interested to see. This is, again, mark the times we've heard. This is a new era. So what does the Triple H era really entail for Saudi Arabia? And that's the most what I'm excited to see. Are there any twists and turns? Is it going to be more chalk and more predictable like it has been the past couple PLEs? Or is it going to be a swerve, no pun intended, for the other company? I want to see what Triple H and team have in stock for the Saudi show.
Podcast Poppy.
I'm gonna go Double or Nothing. 5-year anniversary. They always do a great job on their pay-per-views, minus a few here and there. I know last year's Double or Nothing wasn't great, but this card after last night for me is very anticipated. I thought last night's go home episode was very, very good. You did not, but that's okay. I thought it was very good. And there are a number of matches I'm excited for. Will Ospreay's on the card. Sign me up. You're on mute, buddy.
Okay.
One of those days.
Oh, more for him more than me. Just
Jeez.
brain fart while I burp. Is that is that a problem? Okay, anyway.
You can't all take drinks at the same time, host.
I mean, you can. That's what makes it. It's a social half hour. Okay, that's. I was being social there for a second, if you don't mind. But yeah, I mean, I have high hopes for both shows this weekend. Chris, excuse me, like you said, it's all about what Triple H is going to do now that he is firmly in control, and we've seen a little bit of that play out on social media today. Triple H announcing that the winners of the tournaments get championship matches at SummerSlam, stipulation we have not seen in almost 25 years. This adds a lot to that tournament because I think in certainly in our main event podcast group, we've kind of talked about who now we think should win these matches. And let's just get right on into the tournaments here. So let's start with the men's. Gunther will be taking on the winner of Randy Orton and Tama Tonga tomorrow night from Saudi Arabia. Let's start there with this match on SmackDown. King Chris, we'll start with you. Who do you want to see represent SmackDown?
I want to see Tama Tonga, to be honest. I think Randy Orton, I'm going to say it. I think I want the Bloodline story. It's the best story in professional wrestling right now. And I think it's the best story in professional wrestling in the past 10 or so years. So they said we were in the third inning. Okay, well, what's the fourth inning look like? And I feel like the fourth inning, it needs this stakes. And I get he hears voices in his head, but I just don't see it right now. I'm looking at who I see wearing the crown, and I don't see Randy Orton right now wearing a crown. I see him losing, maybe turning heel at some point and revamp to his character or something down the road. But I want Tama Tonga to be in there so it sets up the prestige of the bloodline and the story moving forward. So that's why I want him in there.
Mr. Third Shift.
Yeah, I would agree with you if there was Solo and not Tama Tonga. If it was Solo in this position, I'd be on board all day. I don't think Tama Tonga's at that level yet.
Well, I see Solo winning Money in the Bank, so that's why I think they're taking all this.
Interesting.
I'm still going to go Randy. And we'll get further into predictions here in a minute, but like the better match is going to be Gunther and Randy. The better storytelling is going to be that Tama Tonga challenging for Cody Rhodes' title at SummerSlam. It's not really screaming main event match to me. Again, a Solo Sikoa Cody Rhodes match, I'm interested. Not as much as Tama Tonga and Cody. So I will go Randy because I want to see that match. Just, candidly, I want to see Randy Orton and Gunther because we haven't seen it yet, and I think they could be a lot of fun. Randy's going to take one chop and then be like, all right, that's enough. But that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go Randy as well, mainly because of the championship stipulation now. And also, I think if Jey Uso happened to advance from Raw, so if it was anybody other than Gunther, then I think Jey would have had a shot to make it to the finals. That would have been interesting to see if they would, use King of the Ring as a way to see kind of what this bloodline story will look like later on in the year. Would have been totally fine if that was the case. But I think now, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes is a much better match at SummerSlam, selfishly because we're going to be there. But when we look at Gunther and we look at the Raw World Title scene right now, we would see either Gunther versus Damian Priest, Gunther versus Drew McIntyre, hell, maybe Gunther versus CM Punk, depending on how the next couple of months goes. I would rather see Gunther bring some legitimacy back to the King of the Ring moniker for a while, and not necessarily, right from this to championship right away. Mostly because we still have that CM Punk Drew McIntyre feud that needs to play out, and Gunther doesn't really need to kind of get mixed into that uncertainty as it is.
That's fair. Prediction wise, I predicted Randy would win the match on SmackDown. I think Randy then beats Gunther at King of the Ring. Randy has all the accolades in the world. He's won the Rumble. He's won Money in the Bank, 14-time heavyweight champion. I want to add King of the Ring to his resume. and it builds to a story with Cody Rhodes that tells itself. I mean, the history between those two is, I mean, just go back and watch it. Like, that's where Cody Rhodes really made his name. That has more of the storytelling to me. You could get the heel turn from Randy, and I think it would be great. Plus, Cody needs a challenger. I mean, there is not a clear-cut challenger for SummerSlam at the moment. This is an excuse to get there. So I'm going to go Randy Orton to win King of the Ring.
Fair enough. Fair enough. King?
I get it. I understand. I see your logic, but this is an illogical business, the professional wrestling world. And I just don't see Gunther going through all of this not to be crowned King of the Ring. And it just, to me, has been setting up his run as the King of the Ring for the past couple months, ever since he lost the title and he announced, and his presence on Raw, his matches that he's had, the dominance that he's shown. It just screams to me King of the Ring. And he has gone through the gauntlet, and this is that, pun intended, crowning achievement that he deserves. And he is dominant, and this was going to make him the dominant figure that either the world title needs or that Cody Rhodes needs. I can see either way. It's going to be interesting. And I just think Gunther's going to win, regardless if it's Randy Orton or Tama Tonga.
Yeah, I think I still have to keep with Gunther as my pick as well. We've seen what he can do with the Intercontinental Championship and what he did with it. I mean, that title was a joke before he held it and restored it to his former glory. Excuse me. We've seen the same thing with King of the Ring. I mean, King Booker is probably one of the best to make something out of that gimmick. I'll also include Xavier Woods in there because he kept it light, kept it fun. But I didn't care for King Sheamus, didn't care for King Regal all that much. And get me started on King Corbin. So if there's anybody, okay, he wasn't the worst. Like, he's like a tier 2. It's like, right there in the middle of the pack.
That led to Bad News Barrett, so he's goated.
Can't argue with that. But yeah, no, I think this is an accolade for Gunther, and I'll pose this question to King Chris, because we talked about this before we went on air. We're actually having to have the conversation: would they really make Gunther lose twice in a calendar year on pay-per-view, so close to each other? Like, that's the conversation that we're having about Gunther in 2024. Is like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I think his character is strong enough to withstand these losses, though, and the way that they built him over his tenure on the main roster. I think he can withstand 2 major losses this close if it's a crowning achievement at a King of the Ring, or if it's a world title shot. And I don't know. I think he can withstand anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, picks are locked. We will see what happens. Let's take it on over to the Queen of the Ring side. Excuse me. Lyra Valkyria qualifying for the finals. She will be facing the winner of Nia Jax and Bianca Belair. King, I'm going to start with you. Who do you have in this finals match here?
I have Nia. And I have her because of the way that the Jade match ended last week. And I think that Bianca's going to be winning the entire time, and it's going to be her control. But Jade's going to come out trying to get revenge, and it's going to sow the seeds between Jade and Bianca match, or the kind of disruption of their tag team. I think that's, maybe this is me fantasy booking, but I think it's kind of playing out that way. The seeds were sown that way last week, and I think that Nia is going to end up being the cheating victor in tomorrow's match.
Yeah. There's a clear path for all 3. That I think there's just storylines, everywhere. Lyra could go on. She could face Becky. She could face Liv, and Liv does that whole revenge tour thing. Like, they could play that storyline.
Yeah.
With Bianca, she wins Queen of the Ring, and Jade didn't win Queen of the Ring. That's the feud now. It's Jade's jealous. It should have been me, all that good stuff. And then Nia, I mean, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'm very rarely wrong. But the Nia Jax return hasn't been bad.
It has not. No.
A match with her and Bailey wouldn't be the worst thing in the world at the moment.
Haven't seen it since NXT.
So I kind of go back and forth on all three of them. If I'm forced to make a pick here,
which you are,
I'm gonna go Bianca to win the entire thing.
His Royal Highness.
God, enough of Bianca. Like, what else does she need? Like, again, I get she's the face of the division, and I get she's this all athletic and a specimen that we've never seen before. But Christ, can somebody else have something? Like, just break it up a little bit. I feel like she wins every single achievement every single time it's brought up. Just Nia needs this more. And you have the tag titles. You have a story brewing over here. You don't need to be the queen of the
tag titles. What are the tag titles?
The fact that you're saying what are the tag titles means it's that important for her to elevate those titles. And I mean, we saw it with the Intercontinental title. We debated it last time. One of the times I was on about the U.S. title, and that is on an upward trajectory. That needs time to breathe. Don't add another stipulation onto it, another gimmick onto those titles. Let those breathe. Let those build up on their own.
Not when the number one contenders are Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Like, we're not. What are we doing here?
I mean, but and I feel like we say this every time that there is a new tag team that we're excited about in that division. I said even at the time of WrestleMania that I really wanted to see dominant runs by Kabuki Warriors, and we didn't really see that. But I was holding out hope for Jade and Bianca because Bianca has literally never had somebody that is basically a mirror image of her that they can use as a tag team partner as an eventual foe. If Bianca does win Queen of the Ring here and she gets her title shot against Bailey at SummerSlam, we're looking at a face versus face match. Are we really going to see Jade get involved there? Because then, what's the next logical place that you build it to? I guess War Games, a rivalry between those two. But it just seems like you're going to want a one-on-one match before you get there. I would feel like, and I just don't know where you would have that take place.
Why are you trying to use logic? It's wrestling. There's no such thing as logic.
All right, fine. Nia wins Queen of the Ring. There's my prediction right there. So that tells you what I think about tomorrow night as well. So, final picks.
Yeah,
Nia.
Just get Bianca.
Okay. Next match, Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, the Women's World Championship. The Revenge Tour continues, and if she wins, then what? King Chris, what say you?
My prediction, at least, I need Liv to win this. Like I've said it, you heard me say it about Bianca. I am sick of Becky. Like I'm the mainstays. Let's let everybody else breathe, man. Come on. Give Liv the title. And that's all I have to say about this.
I'd love if Liv won the title. My gut and my head is telling me Becky Lynch is going to retain.
Same, but I don't want it. And I'm trying
I don't want it either.
When the king speaks, everybody should listen. So I hope they're listening.
I agree. And, Liv should probably win, but I think Becky's going to win. I don't know. I don't know.
I think I still have to go Liv here. They're all in on the heel turn here. I think there's a larger story with Judgment Day since she's been seen, in backstage segments with Finn Balor and just kind of those hidden insight Easter eggs that they've been doing lately.
With
get
Finn?
You missed that one.
And with Dom.
Yeah. So I mean, I like the chaos, and I want to see a little bit of gold sprinkled on top of it. That I get the position that WWE was in because Rhea was hurt. They kind of just needed to do something. Becky is a reliable, safe choice to be champion. Sure, I get that, but this Liv heel turn really hasn't been that bad. I think that some of the promos can come off a little hokey at times, but there's commitment to the character as part of this kind of revenge angle that she's plotting. I say we drape her in gold now.
I don't know Rhea's timetable, so that's kind of why
Yeah.
I'm going Becky Lynch. Maybe it's not time for Liv quite yet. Maybe when Rhea's getting closer to coming back, that's when we see that.
Well, playing the devil's advocate here for that is, well, give her the title now and grow into it. I mean, make her the new mommy and make her the dominant runner of the women's division on Raw.
Yeah, it's tough to see dominant title run Liv Morgan compared to a dominant title run Rhea Ripley. Like, it's almost like apples and oranges.
You could be dominant in multiple ways. You could be a heel dominant where you sneak around and kind of cheat your way, or you just blow through people like Rhea did. So I don't know.
I don't know. I think Becky's gonna win. I just don't know why.
It's been it's first time in a long time that there's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah,
as we were gone through this entire card, we still have 2 matches to go, but we've not had a clear, kind of concise. This is a slam dunk like we have in months and years past, and that's probably one of the best parts of this weekend.
It's fun.
Let's talk some Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, Bronson Reed. Podcast Dad, I know you're a little down in the dumps today, so we're going to start with you on this one.
Sami Zayn's going to win.
Sure about that?
They're in Saudi Arabia. Sami Zayn's going to be treated like a hero. He got his big win at Mania. This is his first big title defense, at a PLE. Sami's going to win, probably pin Bronson Reed. We're going to get the Chad Gable win. We're going to get there, I promise. Wait till the Creed brothers actually align with Chad Gable. Like, I think we're going to get some kind of tease with Otis because he is in Saudi. It's all the video of him, all the superstars coming in, and he's with Chad Gable. He's going to want to pull the trigger, not pull it, and then all that good stuff. Really bad metaphor there. But he's going to want to do it, but he's not going to. It's going to somehow cost Gable. But yeah, I think Sami Zayn wins. I just think the reaction he's going to get is going to be insane, and you're going to want a big face win on this card.
King?
Kyle said Reed is there to eat the pin. Is that a weight joke, or is he going to take the pin? But yeah, I don't see. I see Bronson having like a dominant run in this match. They need to prop him up as the Godzilla. I think they have a lot of work to do on that. But you say this is his home. The reaction's going to be great. What better way to make Chad Gable the heel of all heels than to have him win this? And they're kind of propping him up as this terrible, terrible person. And what would be more terrible than pinning the national hero and winning the title? So I don't know. I go back and forth on this. I see the sense of keeping Sami. I feel like it's too soon to switch the title, especially after Gunther's run. But at the same time, this would be a perfect opportunity for Chad Gable to take this and to build his character and to build his stable and kind of say, well, now I win. So I won my title. Where's everybody else? And kind of continuing that trajectory. So I'm leaning towards Chad Gable, to be honest.
I just think too, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Mr. Cincinnati. Like the new era thing in Triple H's booking, we have not seen a lot of short reigns as champions, right? So I don't know if they're going to flip the title this quickly. Just based off his booking history so far, he seems to like lengthier reigns. So that's kind of also playing into effect on my pick.
Yeah, I think I still have to go Chad Gable here, but my bold prediction is that Creed brothers are the ones that help him to secure that win.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Presumed main event of the night, Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul, undisputed WWE Championship. First consensus, I think, of the night, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes. Yeah. I mean, come on. Like it's I know that there's not really a plan in place, but like Cody's not losing in Saudi. That we know.
I mean, Logan hasn't lost in Saudi.
Did he lose to Roman?
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. That wasn't Saudi. Okay. Never mind. I take that back.
Yeah.
Like I said, the king is delirious. He had a very long 2 days.
That's fair. No,
It's all right.
Cody Rhodes is gonna win. Like
Yeah.
we don't finish the story and all that good stuff for him to lose to Logan Paul. Let's be honest.
Yeah, for sure. No, there's absolutely no way. Let's move it on over to AEW. I know that our episode's getting a little long in the tooth here, but there's too much to enjoy about this weekend. So,
someone is excited
we
for
got
AEW.
Push. Yeah.
Is that Tony Khan back there?
All right, so we're gonna kick it off with. I'm literally just reading their Wikipedia list here. Roderick Strong, Will Ospreay, AEW International Championship. I'm gonna start with this one. Let's be honest. Will Ospreay is not losing anytime soon. He's 13-0, I think, at this point in his AEW career. This will be, this is one of those matches that Roddy definitely needs on pay-per-view. There's been an honest effort to try to make him a player in at least the mid card here, the lower to mid card, I'd say. But I mean, we know these guys can both go and they're going to make magic. I'm gonna leave it at that. King,
I agree. I don't see Will losing this one, and I don't know. We'll see. I know they're going to put on an unbelievable match, and I'm so excited to watch it. And I don't know. I think I'm going Will here.
Okay.
I'm going
Interesting
Roddy.
take from. Okay, is that because I put this up for Mr. OTM? Is that what you're saying?
I think the numbers game is going to come back to haunt Ospreay. Like, you got the whole United Kingdom. We haven't seen Adam Cole. Kingdom. Whatever. We haven't seen Adam Cole in a while. I think there's a reason for that. I think he may show up and cost Ospreay. Tell me you wouldn't want to watch an Ospreay Adam Cole match.
I'd like to see it. Sure. Yeah.
I think Ospreay is just bigger than this title. He doesn't need the title, to be honest. I think there's too many numbers against Ospreay, and we're gonna wait for maybe the actual United Kingdom to come back and help Ospreay. I'm going Roddy. I don't. My gut thinks Roddy.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, no shenanigans. I mean, there has to be shenanigans if Roddy wins. I think. I mean, there's just no way that Roddy gets a clean win over Will Ospreay. I mean,
Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Wardlow, Adam Cole, Roddy. Like, there's going to be some shenanigans.
Has to be. I mean, at this point, we're kind of seeing the courting by Don Callis of Orange Cassidy and kind of looking at a new makeup of this family. Where do you think Don Callis? What's the direction of this group for, let's just say, the rest of the summer? King, I'll start with you.
I'm gonna go to Podcast Dad on this one.
Okay,
because he may have turned my he may have convinced me otherwise on my pick.
Oh, look at that!
Okay,
look at that.
All right.
No, I think we could get the same thing we got with wasn't it Jericho that feuded with Callis for a long time? Like, they just you pit this family against him. He never fit in the family, right? He never did. And Kyle Fletcher is still in the family. Like, the match with Takeshita was just a sparring bout or whatever they called it. Like, there's something there. So yes, I think Callis could get involved, and that could be the feud of the all-in program for Ospreay, is maybe something with that Callis family.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's move on. Timeless Tony Storm taking on Serena Deeb, AEW Women's World Championship. Your Highness, the floor is yours.
So this is one I have to admit I'm not too familiar with. I've been in and out on AEW, so I'm just going to go Tony Storm. I enjoy her story more, so I'm being selfish here.
You're going to get heat, brother. You're going to get heat for that. You don't watch AEW religiously?
I have enough wrestling.
This is coming from a guy that can't even remember to watch NXT Level Up. Don't listen to him.
Have you ever watched NXT Level Up?
That's not the point. You basically wanted that to be your purview on this show, and you've yet to deliver.
That was like 8 months ago.
So,
shut up. Don't.
Shut. Don't go up. Price is due.
I'll be awake for this time, so maybe I'll watch it. Although it's Friday night, not Thursday night, Thursday morning. I don't even know where I am at the moment.
Welcome, brother.
What's the match? Tony Storm. It's getting off the rails.
Active listening.
Shut up. Active listening. I had an entire sentence earlier this week. You didn't even listen. Don't tell me about active listening. I'm married. I know what active listening is.
Whatever. So who's your pick, Tony?
Tony.
Okay, yeah, same here. Adam Copeland, Malachi Black, barbed wire steel cage match for the TNT Championship. This could be a pivotal moment in Copeland's AEW career here. It's been a while since he's been in a steel cage match. Unsure if he's done one wrapped in barbed wire. Malachi Black seems to be in his head, or so we thought. Podcast Dad, I'm going to start with you again on this one. There's a segment you particularly enjoyed on Dynamite last night, so floor is yours.
Yeah, they brought back the bloodbath. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that
was pretty cool. Yeah, I still think we see, maybe we see a Gangrel appearance now that he's in touch with the darker side. Let's be honest, Malachi Black will probably leave for WWE when his contract is up. Maybe. I don't know. He's I think he turned 41 Wednesday or Tuesday. He's got I think another year on the contract, another half year or something like that. But like Copeland's the guy right now. Like, continue this run with Copeland with the TNT Championship. I don't think there's any reason to give it to Malachi, especially when Malachi wrestles 3 singles matches a year anyway. Just continue this with Copeland. Let him continue this Legends run with the TNT title. I think it's going to be a really brutal match. I'm excited for it because Copeland's going to go all out because we don't know how many bumps are left on that card, but he's gonna keep going. So I'm gonna go Copeland.
Your Majesty.
I'm going Copeland as well. Again, I am not excited for this match. I get very queasy when it's very gory, and I just see a huge gory match in this, and I'm just like, man, I am not looking forward to watching that. But again, I want Malachi, but it's going to be Copeland.
Yeah, I think it'll be Copeland as well. However, I do think we'll start to see some of those little hints dropped about a darker persona coming over the next few months. Given the Black Mist that he got. But I mean, more importantly, this is at this point he has defeated both Brody King and Buddy Matthews in singles matches. I think that he completes the clean sweep of House of Black on this one. They regroup, lick their wounds, and they'll find another story and another target. So I'm gonna say Copeland in this one.
Copeland going to get a group? What are they going to call it? Fully loaded? I'm thinking old WWF pay-per-view names.
I'll see what ChatGPT comes up with.
Backlash. What else? What else was some old names? In Your House?
Yes. In Your House 2.
Beware of Dog. Games. There's the name of the group. Beware of Dog.
How about Discernment Night?
There you go. I don't know what that means.
Discernment is judgment. It's
I'm sorry. I'm not. Sorry, the lawyer's not here. I do.
ChatGPT came up with Edge of Destiny.
Ooh,
well, that's terrible. Next.
John Moxley, Kanos gets his Keshta IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match. I think Takeshita gets the win here. Eliminator means at least down the line, so I think he gets the pay-per-view win for Mox to get it back later. King Chris?
Agreed.
Sure. This could go either way. I don't know. How involved is Takeshita with New Japan? I don't really know. I feel like he's been with AEW for a while. They seem to be playing a story over in New Japan with Moxley and I think it's Shota Umino. So I don't know why you throw this in there. Like, how long is Moxley going to hold this title anyway?
I'd say at least Forbidden Door next month.
Yeah, but even you brought that up. Like, you do an AEW guy against an AEW guy at Forbidden Door. Like, why not just have
I mean,
Moxley win this and then do that. I don't know. I'm going to go Moxley.
Wrestling history has also seen a WWF superstar taking on a WCW star for an ECW championship. Stranger things have happened, Big Shoots.
We should get a shirt for every time you mention that. Should be a tally mark.
Hey, you rip off a piece.
That cannot. No, there cannot have been more than one occasion where I've made that reference. I highly.
I will go watch every single episode, and I will find all of them.
This is why we have a fact checker now. I don't think that. I don't.
Yes,
think
you
so.
have.
I do not think so. No. No, I don't.
I'm the youngest one here. I have the best memory. Yes, you have.
Why the drive-by? No. Look. I feel fairly confident that has not been that I've not used that on this show before. 170 episodes. I don't think so.
All right. I just saw Moxley too, so I'll just go Moxley.
Okay. King.
Takeshita.
Good enough. Trent Beretta, Orange Cassidy, King. Right back to you.
Orange Cassidy. I need it. I want it. I just need him to continue. So I'm going to keep my answer short on this because, again, you said we're long in the tooth, so I don't want to go too far on Orange Cassidy.
Right. Trent Beretta. Let's get this heel turn moving. Beat Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think that everything that they're doing with Trent right now, I mean, they're using the fact that Chuck Taylor is basically done, and that Trent has just had OC's number. Let's get him a big pay-per-view win.
Is it time? Is it time? Okay, hold on. Let me sit up straight. Hold on. I gotta make sure.
Show that shirt off. Show that shirt.
Oh yeah, well I gotta show this shirt off, but I gotta make sure also that I'm sitting up straight for the learning.
I know. Yeah.
Here we go. Go ahead.
3-way FTW rules match for the FTW Championship. Chris Jericho with Big
For
Bill.
the world title.
Taking on Hook and Shibata. I quite frankly do not give a shit about this match. So, podcast dad, floor is all yours on this one.
You guys. Here, all right. Here we go. Take the hat off. Here we go. You guys have been bitching and moaning about how you're tired of Chris Jericho and he needs to reinvent himself. This character is so good because he is playing into everything the internet is saying and just being the biggest smartass that you can be. How do you not like this? And he is wrestling with the lowest title in wrestling right now, minus the Speed Championship.
Hey, you leave that belt out of this.
Put some respect on that belt.
Well, at least he comes to TV with his title. So I love this character. It's the FTW title. Who cares? It's Chris Jericho not in the main event scene. He's wrestling Hook and Shibata. It's going to be a good match. Shut up. Jericho wins. Thank you.
He probably does, and that's fine. I personally just wanted a break from Chris Jericho altogether. That's
well, you're not watching it, so you're getting your break.
I'm ordering the damn pay-per-view, so yeah, I'm not going to have a choice but to.
Yeah, and you'll be better for it. Get some education up in that Cincinnati brain of yours.
You're cheeky when you have to work at 2 in the morning, aren't you? Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
You're cheeky? A little cheeky, a little chirpy.
See, if you were on the learning tree, you would have got that phrase right.
Would I?
I'm done. I've made my point.
Okay.
You gonna get King Chris's answer, or are you just gonna not acknowledge the King at all?
King, what you got?
I have Jericho. I'm sick of him too, but really, you see him losing this? No.
Take a trip under the tree. You'll be all right.
And then, just FYI. Tubes.
That's fine.
Next up, Unified AEW World Trios Championships. The Bang Bang Gang. Bullet Club Gold is no more.
Poor Juice.
Taking on Death Triangle. Ray Phoenix is back, and I just hope that he makes it through this match in one piece. Your Highness, who you got?
Okay. I'm passing it off.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care about this match at all. Free Jay White.
I'm going to say Bang Bang Gang. So, all right, fine. Next match. It's time. AEW TBS Championship. Willow Nightingale, Mercedes Moné. Year in the making. This rematch. And Mercedes has finally slid back into that heel role that we know that she can do with perfection. Willow Nightingale is on the just best run of her career so far. Destined to clash once again. Tony Khan's playground now. Mr. Hale, who you got?
The Mercedes. I mean, they spent this much money and this much build and this much time getting her ready. Yeah, it's hers.
Tyler?
I think it's going to be Mercedes. I don't want it to be Mercedes. I want Willow to win because I think Willow has done a very good job with this title. And I think Willow over the last year has really grown into her character and really grown into being a mainstay on AEW. It's going to be Mercedes because they spent $500 million to get her. I'm not going to be happy with the result though. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think it's Mercedes time too. I mean, there's money in the chase if you're Willow. I think there's money, in the chase for Willow if she loses here. And I don't know. I have a gut feeling that this might be the time that we see Chris Statlander finally take a stand.
Yeah.
If there was ever a time to do it, it's now.
Yeah.
5-year anniversary. You need something shocking, and that would be it.
Yeah. This match kind of bums me out because I know Mercedes is going to win. I don't think. I feel like the TBS title is a good title for Willow to have. Like Mercedes can go win the AEW Women's title right now, and everybody would be fine. Like why do we need to take this title off Willow? Like she's having a great run with this title.
I mean, again, there's money in the chase, especially for Willow, and you know, as great as Willow has been with that championship, Mercedes is star power. I mean, here's a chance to elevate a championship that had more or less been dead in the water when for most of for most of its existence, and that's no disrespect to Jade Cargill. It's just that all of those matches were booked as squashes against talent that there was no believable chance that you'd think that Jade Cargill was going to lose. And that was, I mean, it really wasn't the most defenses in the world that she had during that run, so it's just kind of what it's been. But Mercedes can inject a certain star power into that championship lineage. And I say they give her the chance to do that.
I'm not going to argue with you.
You guys, ready to talk some anarchy? Anarchy in the arena. It's time. The Elite, Team AEW. Here we go.
Team AEW.
Matthew and Nicholas Jackson also embracing their inner meta-ness, I guess. That's the word I'm going to say.
Like who?
Very similar to the learning tree. Like I get the concept. I've never not understood the concept, sir. That's not the issue. It's just that I don't like when Chris Jericho does it. Whatever. He's gonna do it.
I'm sitting on some pine. You'll be all right.
What?
Pine tree. That's the tree.
Okay. King Chris, who you got in this one?
I have the Elite, and I have them winning. I don't know why I said that. It has been a long day, boys. Okay. Yeah, I just have the Elite winning.
Yeah, I think the Elite need to win. I think you run it back with blood and guts, and I think that's when Team AEW gets the win. But give me the Elite in this one.
I agree. This has been fun to see the Young Bucks, Okada, Jack Perry all together as part of this new collective. Kenny will still be flexing his EVP powers from afar, I'm sure, and this is a way to keep all of that going. Their egos are an all-time high. Let's to quote Creed, take them a little higher. I know that's not the first time I've made a Creed reference on the show. That much I definitely know. But yeah, I have to.
We just
agree
lost
with the
10 viewers.
The Elite. We only lost one. Okay, relax.
Stop making Creed references.
I mean, it's his sacrifice to do so.
Jesus. Get to the main event. I'm tired. We're at the point where we're making Creed puns.
Yeah.
Let's finish this.
Okay. Swerve Strickland, Christian Cage, AEW World Championship. Podcast Dad, Swerve Strickland ramped up that intensity the way that you felt that he needed to going into this match. Take us through your thoughts on that segment last night, bro.
I loved it. Like, the reason we fell in love with Swerve was because of how, like, sadistic he was. Like that, like, say what you want. The dude broke into a house and, you know, threatened a baby, and we were all like, "Oh, that's so cool!" Like, it's weird, but we loved it. Like,
I don't know that that's the adjective I would have used, but
you love that segment.
I loved this segment, but
he feels like such a and I'll say it again, and I know I've said this a bunch, a horror movie like villain, and like a psychological horror villain, and that's what I want to see. And that's why I really liked Swerve, and he upped his game. We all knew he could wrestle, but it was the character work that we wanted to see. Like, yeah, Hit Row was good, but this was on a whole nother level. And yeah, I'm happy to see some aggressiveness from Swerve, because he was just kind of being passive. This is the Swerve I want. I want the Swerve that's brutal. Just like when we had MJF, I wanted MJF to be the asshole that we all loved when he was, but now he was the prototypical babyface. This is the Swerve I want. Swerve's going to win. This is a good first title defense for Swerve.
King Chris, does Christian Cage win his 4th world title in his career?
No. Swerve. I second that. I love the character of Swerve and the progression of it, and this is way too soon to lose a title for Swerve. The way that they've built him over the past year, I want him to continue it, and I want to see further progression. So no, he's not losing this. I love Christian. I love the history, and I love what he's done for the business, but get out of my face.
Well, tell me how you really feel. But I must say that I feel the same way. It's Swerve's house right now. This is the guy that we've wanted to have that breakout since Bulgaria last year. He is riding at an all-time high. That I say that keeps going. Christian Cage, it's nice to see him back in the main event scene, away from Copeland for a while. But yeah, solid first defense. There's the ties with Nick Wayne with the feud from last year, where Swerve went into his house, pun intended, and beat him bloody, and then Nick Wayne got to return the favor. So there's definitely more. I mean, they had a phenomenal match last night. I know they go way back. But yeah, it's Swerve's time, and that'll continue.
Yep. Agreed.
Any other thoughts on this weekend as we take it home?
One more thing that I have on the King of the Ring side of things, or King and Queen of the Ring side of things. Is my memory wrong in that all like the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals were all on the pay-per-view? Or was it just the semis and the?
I think it was the semis.
Yeah.
So why aren't we doing that this time around? I feel like we've stretched this out, and I want it to be like a gauntlet of that superstar to actually crown them. Oh, you got through multiple matches in one night, multiple bangs in one night. I just feel like that run in to this pay-per-view has been so long, and great matches, great setups, but put some of those in. Like I would wanted to have seen a Jey Uso match on King of the Ring. I wanted to see. I know Podcast Dead doesn't want to see that, but I want to see Dragunov on King of the Ring competing. I think it was stretched out a little too far.
Yeah, I think that's just Papa H's wanting to keep cards relatively condensed, and that's just kind of, I mean, we've seen that back to the TakeOver days, and that would be my guess as to why it's not happening. But
I also think you have 5 hours of TV to fill now every week.
Also true, compared to 2 for a while and then 4 for another while. But yeah.
I mean, granted, but I mean, there's enough talent on the roster where you can fill those and maybe create some more stories. I don't know.
Also true.
I don't know, but this is the crowning achievement, and you do have a crown. I do not have my crown with me, but when you're crowned a champion, you have something that you wear, and I just have this here, and this is the crown of a champion. and Mr. Cincinnati. I know you know nothing about this.
Leave me the
but
you don't.
This is the crown. This represents the crown, and a crown will be given to the king and queen. So I'm very excited.
The day that the Bengals win a Super Bowl, I'm going to be unsufferable.
That's fine. We'll all be dead. It's fine.
Yeah, our kids will be dead too.
Yeah,
they will move before they do that.
They'll probably robot football by that time.
Mm-hmm.
QR code, top left corner. King, good to see you. Podcast Dad, enjoy going to work at 2 a.m. while I'm off work tomorrow. Everybody enjoy the pay-per-views this weekend. Enjoy wrestling. Have fun with it. Let's all be cool. That's going to do it for us for today and for the week. We'll be back possibly on Monday, depending on how the podcast Dad feels, since he's going to be working a lot more than most of us are this weekend. We'll be back
on Monday.
And you have a birthday party this weekend, I'm aware as well. So
yes. Happy birthday, Austin and Maisie. 2 years old today.
We love to hear it. We love to hear it. The podcast clan, enjoying the weekend. Good to see you both. Good to see everybody that's been watching tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys on Monday.